So today I want to tell you guys how I became the father to this wonderful, beautiful girl named Madison Grace. So for those of you that didn't know, I'm not her biological father. Her biological father died around the time that she turned 2 years old. He died from alcohol. He was drinking too much. He became a victim like so many people do these days. And by him dying, she became a victim as well. She was a fatherless baby, and that's not her fault. Well, around this time, me and her mom started hooking up. Her mom's from Albuquerque, I'm from Santa Fe. So every time we kicked it, her mom would go from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, and we would go do things. And the baby was always with her mom. While me and the mom got close and the relationship got serious, the baby eventually started calling me daddy. One thing led to another, and me and her mother got married. So she became my wife. And I adopted this baby and she became my daughter. I've always wanted a daughter, but I could never have one. Every single chick that none of them ever got pregnant. So as fate would have it, and as destiny would work itself out, God gave this fatherless child to a childless father. You see, my grandfather, Joe Martinez from Peñasco, did the same thing. He met my grandma who had 3 children from another man, and they were little babies, and he married her. And my mom, my auntie, and my uncle were those 3 children. He wasn't their biological father, but they took his last name, Martinez. He raised them all the way until they became adults. And as they went to prison and were in the struggle deep in the streets, he raised their children, me and my brothers. I look up to my grandpa. To me, he was the model of what a man should be. He was a real man. He got up every morning at 5 in the morning. He went to work. He took care of us. He loved us. He provided for us. And we weren't even his blood. Anyway, I took this girl in. I became her father. And I vowed to always protect her, always provide for her, always be there for her, always love her. So when I first got with her mom, this little girl was out of control. She was a wild child. If she didn't get her way, she would drop on the floor and start screaming. She would cry. She was still breastfeeding. She was still in diapers. When I took the role of being her father, I started disciplining her. I started giving her timeouts when she would mess up. I started spanking her when she would mess up. I started teaching her right from wrong. Every time after I gave her a timeout, I would sit and I would talk with her. I would let her know the reason why she was on timeout. And I would explain to her, and then I would hug her, and she would go her way. Anyway, about 6 months into this relationship, me being her father, giving her discipline and love, became the little girl that she is today. She doesn't cry no more when she doesn't get her way. She doesn't breastfeed anymore. She was potty trained in 1 week. That goes to show that discipline is important. Discipline is very important. Nowadays, you can't even discipline your kid. You spank them, and they call the cops on you. I don't care. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to discipline my child. I'm gonna discipline her the way my grandma and grandpa disciplined me. My grandma was the one that laid the smack down, and my grandpa was the one that showed love. So I'm gonna give her discipline with an equal amount of love. You can't have discipline without love. Then it just becomes abuse. And then you can't have love without discipline, because then you just spoil them. Then when that spoiled kid grows up, they're a little asshole. They treat you like shit. They have no respect. You don't want none of that. So discipline your children if you have them, for real. You don't have to beat their ass or nothing like that, of course not. Whenever you discipline them, spank them on the butt and give them a timeout. The amount of time you leave them on timeout should go with their age. If the baby's 2, give them 2 minutes on timeout. If they're 3, 3 minutes. If they're 4, 4 minutes, so on and so forth. That's how I was doing it. That's how me and my wife discipline my daughter, and she's one of the best behaved, respectful, smart little girls you will ever meet. Anyway, I just wanted to tell the story of how I adopted this little girl when her father died, and I've been raising her for a year straight. She just turned 3. I got to see her first day in school. I got to be here for a lot of her firsts. And I'm her father. She calls me daddy. She looks up to me like I'm a superhero. I can never let her down now. She's really my focus. She's really the one that's keeping me grounded. She's the one that's making me not give a fuck about going to the streets, going back to all that shit. I'm not going back to nothing because I have this little girl to take care of. She needs me. If she didn't have me, she wouldn't have a father. Little girls need fathers. I didn't have a father or a mother, but I had my grandfather and I looked up to him, and I learned what a real man is from him. Anyway, I hope I explained my thoughts right. I was thinking about all this and I wanted to put it into words, and I hope I expressed it right. If I didn't, oh well, it is what it is. I'm gonna click the upload right now. This is Tragedy. Thank you for watching. I'm out.